Pay attention now. If you've arrived at this video, it wasn't by chance. In recent months, something strange has been happening in your life. Weird dreams that make you wake up sweating. A tiredness that appears out of nowhere, even when you sleep 8 hours. A tightness in your chest when you lie down to sleep. A near accident in traffic that you can't explain how you escaped. A trusted person who has acted strangely in recent weeks. A medical exam that came back clean after months of symptoms. A contract that was going to go wrong and turned around at the last second. And you don't tell anyone about it because you think they'll laugh at you or say it's all in your head. But I came here today with a direct message for you, and this message isn't mine. It's from God. Jesus stopped what was coming against you. Do you understand the weight of that sentence? It was coming. It had already left. It was already on its way. It already had your name, your address, your spiritual ID number written on the tip of the arrow. And it was blocked at the last instant. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the 7 clear signs that you were the target of an attack that Jesus intercepted. I'm going to explain who unleashed it against you and why. And I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do in the next 72 hours to seal this protection forever. If you are over 35, pay even more attention. Because in this age range, the enemy intensifies attacks. You've already built something, you already have something to lose. You already have a visible purpose. And that's precisely where the target grows. Don't turn off this video. If you're feeling a chill down your spine or a strange urge to leave the screen now, understand. This is confirmation that you are in the right place at the right time. Let's start with the first sign, and you'll recognize yourself immediately. The first sign that Jesus stopped something very heavy coming against you is the recurring dream of falling, being chased or fleeing. You've been dreaming that you're running from someone whose face you don't see, or that you're falling from a great height and wake up before hitting the ground, or that you're trying to escape an old house, a dark place, dirty water. This type of dream is not random. It is your soul processing a thwarted attempt at capture. The spiritual realm does not work with coincidence. When the enemy targets someone, he first tries to capture the soul in sleep, because in sleep conscious defense falls. And when Jesus intercepts this movement, your soul wakes up with a fragmented memory of the escape. That's why you wake up tired, even after sleeping all night. You fought a war that your rational mind didn't register, but your spirit lived through entirely. The second sign is sudden weight on your shoulders and neck. With no physical cause, you went to the doctor, had tests. Nothing came up. But when you enter certain places, when you meet certain people, when you open certain social media apps, that weight descends like a wet cloak. This isn't posture, this isn't stress, this is the mark left by an attempted spiritual binding that Jesus broke before it could be completed. Pay attention, because what I'm about to tell you now about money disappearing from your account without explanation will precisely match what you experienced last month. Before I continue and reveal the third sign, I need you to understand something that might be bothering you internally right now. This tightness you're feeling while watching this video isn't fear, it's recognition. It's your soul screaming inside. This is what was happening to me and I didn't know. If you've made it this far, it's because the Father called you. He brought you to this channel on this day, at this exact minute, because you are chosen. You didn't click on this video by chance. He clicked for you. And what you're experiencing now, this pain, this anguish, this attack that Jesus blocked at the last second, is just the visible layer of a much larger spiritual chessboard. There's a game happening beneath your life, and you are the main piece on this board. The enemy doesn't waste ammunition on those without purpose. If he targeted you, it's because your anointing bothers him, your calling frightens him. Your future disrupts dark plans that were made even before you were born. That's why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This Holy Book isn't just a reading, it's the weapon that reveals day by day the specific rules for you to identify each type of attack, shield your home, seal your family, and transform every attempt of the enemy into a platform for blessing. In it, you learn exactly how to recognize the signs of attacks that Jesus has already blocked, how to close the doors through which they entered, and how to build a hedge of protection that makes the enemy's next dart boomerang back against whoever fired it. The link is in the first pinned comment on this channel. Many people have already tried to erase this holy book from the internet. It has been taken down 3 times because it challenges the system's narratives and takes power away from those who profit from your spiritual ignorance. Download it now before they take it down again, and write exactly this phrase in the comments: "I am chosen, and I will download the digital book." Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the third sign that is still hidden within your financial routine without you having noticed. The third sign is money that evaporates without explanation. You receive your salary, pay your bills correctly, do your normal shopping, and in the middle of the month, you look at your account and there's a missing chunk that you can't explain. You redo the calculations 3 times, review your statements, and it's always short. This isn't a lack of organization. This is a sign that there's an open spiritual drain in your financial life, and the enemy was starting to pull your prosperity down that drain. Jesus closed the main one, the one that would have led you to utter bankruptcy, but the small hole is still there, leaking. Be careful, because some people have lost everything because of that small hole that seemed insignificant. The fourth sign is the mysterious illness that appears and disappears. You woke up with a strange stomach ache for 2 weeks, went to the doctor, had an ultrasound, and nothing came up. Then, out of nowhere, it disappeared, or that skin rash that appeared, and you were already scheduling a dermatologist appointment, and before the consultation it vanished, or that blood pressure that suddenly spiked on a Sunday afternoon and returned to normal on Monday morning. Medicine can't explain it because it's not of the body. It was an attempt to install sickness in your physical being, and Jesus intercepted it before it could take hold. If you've experienced this, comment the word "escaped" below, because the algorithm needs to understand that a lot of people are living through the exact same thing and thinking they're going crazy alone. The fifth sign is sudden mental confusion. You were making clear decisions, you knew what you wanted, you had objectives, and suddenly a fog rolled in. You started to doubt everything. You started forgetting the names of people you've known for 20 years. You started losing objects around the house. You started feeling stuck trying to write a simple message on a messaging app. This isn't premature aging. This isn't a memory problem. This is a sign that the enemy's aim passed through your mind before trying to destabilize your body. Jesus blocked it, but the trace of the attempt remained, and it needs to be dealt with before it returns with double force. Before I reveal the sixth sign, which is the most delicate of all, I need to make a strategic stop here, because I realize that many people watching this content still haven't understood the real dimension of what's happening. You're sitting there on the couch or lying in bed, thinking this video is just another video to pass the time. It's not. Every word I'm speaking here was breathed out to reach you exactly where the pain resides within you. You were led here, and the reason for this leading is simple. You received a call from the Father that you haven't fully accepted yet. You feel you have a greater mission, a vocation that was never clear, a purpose that keeps slumbering in your soul but never truly awakens. And as long as you don't awaken to this call, the enemy can keep circling your life, testing the windows, trying the locks. Jesus did stop the last attack, yes. But every attack he stops leaves a mark on the invisible plane, and these marks accumulate. One day they turn into a map, and the enemy reads that map and returns with a better strategy. You're only seeing the current problem on the surface layer, the layer of material life. But beneath that layer, there's a chessboard where the enemy has already noted your every move, every relationship, every emotional password, every entry point to your spiritual home. And you're trying to play this game without a manual, without strategy, relying only on God's goodness to save you every time. God will continue to save you. But He gave you tools. He gave you rules. He gave you written instructions so you wouldn't have to live only by last-minute rescues. That's why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you. 21 days of prosperity and alignment with God. This Holy Book isn't just a reading. It's a structured path over 21 days, where each day works on a specific dimension of your spiritual shielding and alignment with the purpose God wrote for your life even before you were born. In the first 7 days, you learn to identify exactly through which door the enemy has been entering your life. Whether it was through a wrong friendship, through a word you let slip in a moment of anger, through a spiritual agreement someone in your family made generations ago that still affects you. In the next 7 days, you learn to close each of these doors with authority. using declarations, targeted prayers, and practical actions on the material plane that seal the spiritual plane. And in the last 7 days, you build the hedge of prosperity, the total alignment that turns everything the enemy tried to use against you into a platform for growth. That's why this holy book teaches, specifically on day 14, how to react when you recognize that Jesus has just blocked an attack. Because most people celebrate their deliverance and stop there. They don't use the energy of deliverance to close the door, and the enemy returns. You cannot be that person, not after everything I'm telling you here. The link to the holy book is in the first pinned comment on this channel. Notice that I'm insisting on this point for a reason. This content has already been silenced 3 times by platforms that don't want God's people to wake up. There's a mechanism that profits from your spiritual confusion. While you don't understand what's happening, some people are selling medicine for anxiety that isn't anxiety. Some are selling therapy for fear that isn't fear. Some are selling courses for financial blockage that isn't financial blockage. It's an attack. And the Holy Book reveals this with the authority of Scripture. That's why it bothers so many people. Download it now before they take it down for the 4th time, and write in the comments in full letters, "I am chosen and I will download the digital book." Comment before continuing to watch, because this act of faith opens the next level of revelation about you. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the 6th sign, the one that involves the person closest to you and that many people discover too late. The 6th sign is the strange behavior of someone very close to you. A person you trusted started acting differently in recent weeks. They became distant for no reason. They suddenly disappeared. Or, on the contrary, they started getting too close with too many questions, with too much interest. You felt in your gut that something was off, but you rationalized it. You told yourself you were being paranoid. You weren't. This person was used as a channel, consciously or unconsciously, to get to you. And Jesus, in his mercy, provoked an event that exposed the intention before the damage was done. A misplaced comment they let slip, a message that reached you by mistake, a dream that warned you. This was no coincidence, it was direct intervention to protect your story. The 7th sign, the most important of all, is the deep feeling that you escaped something but don't know exactly what. It's that morning sensation when you wake up and think, "I'm alive," and you think it with a different weight. As if you've returned from a journey you didn't take, as if you've signed a contract that was cancelled before it took effect. This feeling isn't generic gratitude. It's the confirmation your soul gives you that there was a real specific divine intervention with your name written on it. Now that you've recognized these 7 signs, you need to understand the second layer of this revelation, why you were the target. And here I need to be direct with you because many people shy away from this part of the conversation. You were the target for 3 combined reasons. The first is your unfulfilled purpose. There is a mission that God wrote for you, and you haven't fully embraced it yet. Maybe it's starting your own business. Maybe it's taking on a ministry. Maybe it's writing, teaching, creating, leading. You know what I'm talking about. And as long as this mission is ready within you but not released, the enemy has time to try and sidetrack you. The second reason is an opening in your lineage. Someone at some point in your family history made an agreement, spoke a word, participated in a practice that opened a spiritual door that has remained open for generations. You are the heir to that door. And as long as this door is not closed, you remain a valid address for the enemy's correspondence. The third reason is the hardest to accept. Someone very close to you felt envy of something of yours and spoke. A word said in anger, a thought repeated with desire, a poisonous comment made in a WhatsApp group. It didn't even have to be heavy work. A bitter word released with intent is already fuel for a spiritual dart. And Jesus stopped that dart, but the source remains open. Now comes the solution. And I'm going to be surgical with you because time is the only thing we cannot waste. The solution is not to pray more in the early hours. It's not to do random fasting. It's not to look for a man of God to lay hands on your head and solve it for you. The solution has 3 specific steps, and you need to execute them in order. First step, verbal recognition. You need to say out loud, today, before sleeping, "I recognize that Jesus stopped what was coming against me." Saying this with your mouth seals in the spiritual plane, the deliverance that has already happened in the invisible. Second step, identification of the door. You need to be silent for 10 minutes today, alone, and ask the Holy Spirit to show you which of the 3 doors is open in your life, the one of the unfulfilled purpose, the one of the lineage, or the one of someone else's bitter word. The answer will come. Third step, structured closing. And this is where you need a method. Because closing a spiritual door is not about pretty words, it's about specific rules, exact declarations, practical actions linked to spiritual action. And it is here at the most critical point of this revelation that I need to speak to you with an open heart about something you may have been intuiting for a long time. This whole story I've told you so far, these 7 signs, these 3 reasons, these 3 steps, they didn't just happen to come out of my mouth, just as you didn't stumble upon this video by chance. We were both called, you to receive, me to deliver. And if you look honestly at your life, you'll recognize that there's a call from the Father that has been knocking at your door for a long time, and you've opened a crack, listened, and closed it again, afraid of what that opening will demand of you. As long as that crack remains just a crack, the enemy works on you with a long-term strategy. He doesn't need to knock you down all at once. He wears you down. He impoverishes you. He isolates you. He makes you sick. He confuses you. He plants discouragement. He waits for you to give up on your own, on the life God had written for you. Every attack Jesus blocks is another chance you get to wake up. But the chances aren't infinite. They are generous, they are many, but they have a count. And you don't know what number in that count you are at right now. What I do know is that if you've made it this far in the video, you have the crack open enough to receive what's coming next. You need to understand that there is a precisely laid spiritual plan against your life. This isn't a speech to scare you, it's strategic information. There is a dark intelligence that studies every human being with purpose. It knows your schedules, your tastes, your old bitterness, your unresolved guilt, your subtle addictions, your temperament weaknesses. And it attacks through these breaches. Meanwhile, many people who call themselves Christian protect themselves with social media soundbites, without structure, without method, without a war plan. A Christian without a war plan is a fixed target. You cannot continue to be a fixed target. That's why the Father prepared the Holy Book for you, 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God. This Holy Book isn't just a reading. It's a structured battle plan that God allowed to be organized in simple language for common people like you and me. People who work, who take care of their families, who pay rent, who don't have time to decipher complicated religious content. In this holy book, on day 1, you receive a complete spiritual diagnosis of your current situation, with objective questions that make you see for yourself where the door is open in your life. So on day 2, you learn the 3 specific words you need to say out loud to seal every type of deliverance God has already granted you, without you recognizing it, because deliverance not confirmed verbally remains in the air, and the enemy tries to reverse it. On day 3, you enter the lineage identification process with a simple script for conversation with yourself, with God, and with your history, which exposes the ancestral agreements that still affect you. From day 4 to day 7, you enter the breaking process, and each day works on a specific dimension: money, health, relationships, purpose. You will start to feel concrete change in the first week. People who applied the method report sleeping the first night without that chest tightness, that they returned to having light dreams, that they received an unexpected financial answer, that an estranged person sent a message asking for forgiveness. This isn't motivational. This is the result of closing a spiritual door with clear rules. From day 8 to day 14, the Holy Book takes you to the second layer, which is the construction of continuous shielding. Here you learn the morning routine, the evening routine, what to do before leaving the house, what to do before sleeping, what words to avoid saying to yourself, what spiritual foods to consume, what environments to avoid, what friendships to reevaluate, and all with a biblical basis, without mysticism, without practices from other origins. Just the Word, in its practical application for the modern individual. From day 15 to 21, you enter the phase of prosperity, because protection without prosperity is a withered life. And God didn't save you from attacks for you to live withered. He saved you for you to prosper as a living testimony of His power. In these last 7 days, you learn how to transform every attempted attack that Jesus has already blocked into a platform for specific blessing. If the enemy tried to impoverish you, that same offensive becomes an anchor of wealth. If he tried to make you sick, it becomes an anchor of robust health. If he tried to destroy your relationship, it becomes an anchor of renewed bonds. This is in the Holy Book with methodological precision. It's not an empty promise, it's a practical sequence. And that's why this Holy Book bothers so many people. It takes the common person from the position of a chronic spiritual victim and places them in the position of a war strategist. And there's an entire industry that loses a lot of money when the average individual steps out of the victim position. Some people profit from your despair, your confusion, your unstructured faith. That's why this holy book has been taken down 3 times. That's why the link isn't just anywhere. The link to the Holy Book is in the first pinned comment of this channel. That's where we can keep it because the algorithm controls that part less. Go there now to the first pinned comment, click the link, secure your access. And before you leave to download, write with your own hands in this video exactly this phrase: I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Write with faith, write with decision. Write with your chest puffed out, because every person who writes this phrase and publicly takes the decision to act moves a seal in the spiritual plane. It's not superstition, it's a verbal covenant. God moves when you speak. Angels move when you declare. Period. Comment now before continuing to watch, because what I'm going to reveal in the last part of this video will only be useful to those who have already positioned themselves. Those who haven't commented will continue to listen, but won't receive the key. Not because I won't deliver it, but because the key only fits those who have turned their wrist to receive. And turning your wrist is acting. It's clicking. It's commenting. It's downloading. Now that you've decided to act, the next truth I'm going to tell you will be the final blow against the main instrument the enemy still tries to use against your life starting tomorrow morning. And here comes the closing I need to deliver with all my strength. If you've made it to this point in the video, look at the screen for a second and recognize one thing. You are no longer the same person who pressed play. Something has changed in you in the last 20 minutes. A piece has moved. A truth has clicked into place. An old resistance has cracked. Now you know. You know that Jesus stopped what was coming against you. You know what the signs were. You know why you were targeted. You know there is a mission that is still ready, waiting for you to embrace. And you know there is a method, a holy book, 21 Days of Prosperity and Alignment with God, that was prepared by the Father to give you exactly the rules you need to close the doors, shield your home, and unlock the prosperity that was yours from the beginning. The link is in the first pinned comment on this channel. Don't put it off until later. Later is the prettiest name spiritual laziness uses to disguise itself. And while you delay, the enemy prepares the next attempt. Jesus blocked the last one, but God gave you tools so you don't have to rely only on last-minute blockages. He wants you walking with an active hedge of protection all the time, sleeping in peace, waking with direction, walking with purpose, prospering with authority. Download the Holy Book now, start today, and do these 21 days with the seriousness of someone who understands that this is the turning point. Before closing this screen, leave your final declaration in the comments. With faith, with weight, with decision. I am chosen, and I will download the digital book. Subscribe to this channel, activate the bell, like this video, so that other chosen ones who are being sought by God at this very moment can be reached by this message. Share it with someone you know needs to hear this today, because as you share, you also seal in yourself what you have received. And remember this day, remember this time, remember this video, because one day looking back you will recognize that it was here, on this screen, in this minute, that your life turned around. That Jesus stopped what was coming against you, and you finally stopped what was going against yourself. The Father's peace be with you. Go now, download the Holy Book and start today. Amen.